Good evening, or should I say good morning, to all the MN Loves and MNL48 members. It's me, Robbie, the Lock Robster, the MN Love of LA, giving you another video. Yes, and it's another vlog, and it's a continuation to the last vlog I did, or should I say the last rant that I did regarding my troubled uh, view of the MNL48 second general elections. Yes, if you haven't seen it already, lucky you. But let me explain it a bit. So I called out how Paulo Kurosawa and Halo Halo Entertainment is being unfair, unjust, and totally crazy this whole election would be, in which the results of those, when the final results come in, those who are not within the rank of the top 48 will be forcibly graduate or basically fired. And I call out for boycott. Okay, now here's, okay, so that's basically it. Okay, so now let me tell you the aftermath after I did that video before I go into my continued rant regarding something else. Okay, so after I was able to upload the video on YouTube, okay, so I just let it sit there for a while, and I decided to share it on Facebook. However, I could only share it with one friend of mine who I usually share my videos, who are also other MNL48 fans. However, because some of my friends on Facebook who are MNL48 fans are supporting other members within the MNL48 group, and I couldn't share it with them because it feels, as I guess I was feeling guilty in some way, or I didn't want to get the hate from them for trying to say, oh, don't vote for your Kamioshi or Oshi or whatever. I could only share it with one friend, and this FB friend of mine, she is very critical of MNL48. Yeah, and I think that would be good to share it with her. Okay, and I was also about to share the video to Shah, MNL48 Shah, and I stopped myself from doing that as well because I think I think she might not like it, because in some ways it was through her IG live that she did that was the catalyst for me to do, which was, but I didn't want her, I guess I didn't want the hate from her, that she was the reason that I did that rant video. So, and because of that, since I couldn't share it with Shah, I couldn't share it to my other Oshis as well, because I don't know, because I really think they'd hate me for calling for a boycott in their upcoming election. So yeah, that was very hard for me, especially the the days after I made that video and posted it up. And the more hard thing was whenever the members, especially my Oshis, posted anything they have on Facebook and it would come up on my timeline, I couldn't comment on it. It's because I'll say this. At that point, I was pretty upset and pretty sad, and whatever I might comment on their posts, it would be to me fake, because no, I just couldn't say, "Ooh, you're so cute" or like that, and I couldn't do that because it would reflect on me on being fake, as I was feeling really bad regarding their situation, and I'm pretty sure they know about the situation since Shah. And regarding Shah, someone uploaded her Instagram video on YouTube and I watched it, and you could see how sad she is, even though she isn't actually crying. I mistook the assumption that she was actually crying, though I haven't watched the video yet. So I watched the whole video, but you can see the sadness. You can hear it in her voice. You can see it in her eyes. Yeah, you can see it behind the veneer of the smiles and the laughter in that video. And yeah, it really affected her that much. And I believe the other girls were already there, and I think they knew about her and tried to make her feel better. Yeah, but it seems she sensed the inevitable of being forced to graduate from MNL48. Yeah. So going back to, I couldn't share it with the videos, my video, that rant, to any of the members because I really thought they would hate me for doing it. Yeah, and I could have asked them if they've seen the video, but I was afraid for the answer. So I'd rather not ask them nor post any video. If they see it, maybe they have seen it. I'm not sure because I haven't asked and I don't want to know the answer. Okay, so yeah. So after a few days, after this rant video, I did start to feel a little better when Jan, once more, posted up a video. I think it's her behind the scenes of the HSE, the handshake event. And that made me really feel good about it. And I was able to make some comments to certain members' posts. Yeah, and slowly but surely, I started to feel better about myself. And then the news came up regarding the second generation. Okay, so here's the news now. If you don't know yet, okay, so they presented us 21 second generation members who passed the audition. Okay, and these 21 members will also be included in the second general election. Also included are the 9 Kenkyuuseis. Okay, 21 plus 9 is 30, which was correct in that group chat that I read. I think it's on stage 48. Yeah, the wiki there. And the group chat said that 30 members would be removed. Okay, so our 48 members plus these 30 girls on the outside are vying for positions in the top 48 ranking of the general elections. Okay. Now, to some, I guess this would be okay. Okay. So going back to my video again. All right. For calling for the boycott, I know some people calling me that a boycott would not work. Yes, I would agree with that. It would not work, not to 100% or maybe 99%. It won't work that effectively because I don't know. It wasn't my intention to change any of your minds, yeah, to do that because God gave us free will, and you do what I want, and I'm not your parent to tell you otherwise. Yeah, I'm just a guy in California, just sharing my opinion and showing you how crazy this situation is. I mean, 2 YouTube channels, No AKB, No Life, and 48 Talk, mentioned the general election, the second general election, and it was to the first one, No AKB, No Life. They were pretty upset about the situation, while 48 Talk, oh god, it seemed like that MNL48 is actually the laughing stock of all the 48 groups. Yes, because we made our general election, which is not not in line with what AKB, how they do it. I believe they call it the Susenko. Yeah, it's not a Susenko. This is basically almost like the way Produce 48 did, where you get eliminated if you're not with that, you didn't you don't get enough votes. Yeah, much like I said, this is not Survivor or Big Brother. Yeah, which is totally wrong, and basically they're laughing at us. Well, laughing at MNL48 and their supporters in some way, but one of the members of 48 Talk said that the girls of MNL48, yes, they can sing, they have talent. However, he just couldn't get into MNL48 because of MNL48 has this Western flavor in their songs, not really idol-like. That's how he describes it. So whenever I try to listen to 48 talk, their discussion, MNL48 that hardly gets mentioned, and if it was mentioned, they laugh at it. Okay, so right now, the second general election is a big laughing stock to them right now. Okay, so all right, so now going back to the how the results would would be in this general election, basically my rant, I guess. But I'll try to be more calm. I'm not sure. I think I'm very calm in that first video. What do you think? But I'll try to be more calm this time. Okay. Okay. So now that these 21 members, the second generation members, has now shown up. Okay. Why I mentioned this is not good. Now it's created tribalism within MNL48. Tribalism as in all the first gen girls, all 48, maybe including the Kenkyuusei, are now banded together to not let these 21 girls in. Okay. Same thing with the second generation girls. Now they formed their own group in which they will try to fight to get in the top 48 ranks. And maybe even the Kenkyuusei, the 9, has formed their own tribe to try to break into the 48 ranks to kick out whoever is actually in the 48 and the top 48. Okay, so because of Mr. Kurosawa and Halo Halo Entertainment's mismanagement of this group, you have now created more problems within the foundation or within the how to call this within the group itself, I guess. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, because now it's like they're hashtagging first gen first love. So basically, all of us should side with them, since the 21 members of the second generation, we hardly know them. I mean, I wouldn't blame all the MN loves to be against the second generation girls, because we don't really know them, and they did not go through the same audition process as the first generation. And I mean, it's almost, I think it's almost a month, we're a month away from the general election, and they said they're going to try to get information about these girls to introduce them to us. But the question, do they really think that the MN loves would immediately side with these girls, since we're already attached to the first gen, and some of us, like me, are still trying to know all of the girls. Okay. All right. So it's almost pretty audacious of Mr. Kurosawa and Halo Halo Entertainment to think that the second generation would immediately surpass some of the members of the first generation. Okay, so this comes, it's some one MN Love kind of posted or commented when this news came out, saying that, I mean, is there something very fishy going on that they would think that these 21 girls might have the upper hand somehow, some way, and if that does happen, now there's going to be a big conspiracy about this, okay, about how these newcomers were able to get into the group, with just like, how do you say this? With so little exposure to the fandom of MNL48. Okay. All right. And it seems pretty also unfair to slide in these newcomers to overtake the 9 Kenkyuusei that are trainees. And as far as I know, they're trainees so they could eventually get into the main 48 group. Okay. So it's kind of like wishful thinking upon HHE to believe that these 21 girls of the second generation would even get in through this election process. Okay. So yeah. Okay, that's and it's really, I wouldn't say turmoil, but a lot. I know I've been reading a lot of these comments from Aaron Loves that this is really getting on their nerves, especially Mr. Kurosawa, HHE, and the second generation girls. Yeah. So thanks to you, you've now created a division within the group itself. Okay. The first generation are trying to protect themselves against these outsiders. Right now, they're outsiders because we don't know anything about them. Okay. And as MN loves, naturally, we would side with the first gen. Okay. Unless something magically happens that all 21 of the second generation girls would slip in. Maybe not all of them, maybe half of them. But that would still come into question. How did these girls get in? Okay. And honestly, just to be honest, within the Kenkyuusei, I see Lainey, Cole, Diane, Carla may be able to break into the top 48. And with that, once again, there's always consequences in which some girls would have to leave, fired, forced to graduate, whatever words you want to use, from MNL48, which this should not happen. It shouldn't, because this is not what AKB48 is. Basically, it's supposed to be a popularity contest, not a survival contest on to determine who lasts until the end. But yeah, this is what we have right now. And this is why MNL48 is the laughing stock of the idol world, basically. And what more I could add? Yeah, I also mentioned on my first video that I know certain girls in the top 48 of first gen, the 48 girls of first gen, who are in danger of being forced to graduate. Okay. Okay, I know I did call for a boycott, and I know that would work. That won't work. Okay, I know. But I still think that all of us should still boycott, just to send a message to Mr. Kurosawa and HHE for the mishandling of the MNL48 group and the girls. Okay. Okay. Bad enough. I just heard the news about in AKB they're already not going to hold the general election, the Susenko, this year. Okay. Because of certain problems. Someone is pointing out regarding Matsui Jorina, and one regarding NGT. Okay. And probably, I guess, because of that problem, that's why AKS, the management of AKB48, agreed to this plan by HHE regarding that the forced graduation plan. Okay, the forced graduation plan does not make any sense. The insertion of the second generation members through this election doesn't make any sense. This causes a lot of these girls, I'm pretty sure, a lot of stress. Okay, and it's not very, very good. All in all, overall. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I guess that ends my rant. All right, I hope I didn't offend anyone, but what needs to be said has to be said. And also, that's why I called for a boycott, just to make aware to everyone that not all of us agree to this. I thought the girls of MNL48, I I think at my first thought was they were like fighting for their own survival. So it was like it was all every man, every girl for herself. So that's why I guess Shah was feeling a bit, overwhelmed by the whole experience, because now it's like a battle again for each one rather than a whole group. But with the by introducing the second gen, the first gen has now united to protect themselves from this outside threat. Okay, the tribalism that I called it, that I called that I mentioned earlier, that is happening now within the MNL48 group, which is not good. It is not healthy. It is just wrong. Okay. So yeah, once again, I mentioned that I just wanted to make it aware. I just wanted to show that this whole process is demented. It's crazy. It's wrong. And I'd like to quote one thing before I go. Is why am I doing this? Okay, I'm going to paraphrase a quote. Let's see. Evil only succeeds when good men do nothing. Good night.